know, how many of you have traveled with Best of Times? Awesome. Oh, awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, all of you except two, right? Have you ever?
I think we did.
You
You
did.
went up to the lake, went up to Saki, right?
So, Nisha was kind enough to invite me here today. The flyers that are on your table are the trips that she has already, asked to promote. So that's the trips that I'm gonna talk about here. Let me get out of here, please. Bear with me a second. So those are the trips that I'm gonna talk about, and then after I'm done talking about, the trips that are already signed up for this center, I'm also gonna talk a little bit about the trips that some of the trips that you're seeing in that pamphlet there for 2019, cause our 2019 catalog just came out. So let me get started, and I apologize for the green, I can't get rid of it, I don't know why it's green. But I'm gonna actually, can we dim some lights with that camera, is that gonna be okay? Is that better? Okay. So I had this in here when I made up this PowerPoint. Let me do this here. Okay. So this is the one that I was just starting to say. I had this in here when I made up this PowerPoint, but it's actually October 3rd, which we're already almost in October. So that one. So this one here is basically sold out. If somebody absolutely wanted to go, they would have to pay in full right away to be able to get onto this trip. Because we have other towns that we're picking up, or that will be picked up prior to getting here, and then we take the whole bus up to Vermont. So for Buddy Holly, that's where I'm gonna start. We have a luncheon show once a month. And I fixed the timing and it's gonna still run, I think. I'm so sorry. So we have a luncheon show once a month, and our venues are either Damersport Yacht Club. Buddy Holly happens to be playing in Lake Pearl in Rentham. We use Venus de Milo in Swansea. So you get a bus ride, everything is included in the price. The bus ride, when you arrive, all the staff from Best of Times is there. The venue is set up somewhat similar to like a wedding venue. It's not a really huge, it's about the size of a wedding venue. All the tables are numbered, your ticket is numbered. So when you arrive, we help you where, if you're table 14, we tell you where your table is. And guide you to seating. If, for instance, Nisha sold 3 tables full from the Groveland Senior Center, you would all be in the same area. So we wouldn't have one table from Groveland here and another one, on the other side of the room. We group everybody together in the same room. So we serve a plated luncheon around noontime. Soup or salad, and you get your chicken or fish entree with potato vegetable, and then coffee and dessert, and then we have all top performers. So Buddy Holly, these are tribute shows, unless I say they're not, they're all tribute shows. This is the Not Fade Away band, and I am actually gonna play a blurb from YouTube. All of these performers can be found on YouTube. So I'll let you listen to them a little bit. Trying to see in the dark here, I'm sorry. or can everyone hear it? Can everyone hear that? Oh, this is Paul McCartney. Hey. So I can hear their music, but we just can't see them. Okay, so I'm very sorry about that. I thought it was gonna sound a lot better than that. They are top performers. Buddy Holly, they sing That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue, Maybe Baby, Not Fade Away. That was supposed to be the right clip on YouTube, so I'm not sure what happened. So once a month, we have a luncheon show at one of these venues, as I was saying, and Nisha is promoting the Buddy Holly show and also the tribute to Rod Stewart. So Rod Stewart is done by Rob Caudell. He looks like Rod Stewart, he sounds like Rod Stewart. I'm gonna attempt, and this one here is at Venus de Milo in Swansea, and I am gonna attempt to bring up that video for you. Hopefully this one is gonna work properly. It's nothing worse than when you get everything ready before you come and it's not working. The gist. He looks like him, he sounds like him. We have, he's played in, I'm sorry, I'll read this and now the lights are off. He's played in Vegas and in Australia. I'm sorry?
You want me to turn the light on a little?
No, that's okay. That's all right. I'll get it. It's okay. So as you can see, he looks like him and he sounds like him. And every time we have a tribute show, it is top performers.
Oh, this is the one you want to look over.
So it's already moved to the White Mountain Hotel. This is December 3rd to December 5th. So this hotel, nothing's going right for me today. Can you turn that one on? That would be, yes. Can you still see this okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So the White Mountain Hotel, they have 3 Christmas shows. I'm gonna bring it back there. We have have a couple of trips going out in December, oh my goodness. Let's try this one more time. Nisha chose the trip from December 3rd to December 5th. You stay 2 nights at the White Mountain Hotel. It's round-trip motor coach transportation. You get 5 meals. You get 2 breakfasts, a luncheon, and 2 dinners. You get 3 different Christmas shows, and a guided sightseeing tour of Mount Washington Valley. And you go shopping at the outlets in Tilton. Excuse me, round-trip baggage handling, all room and meal taxes and gratuities. So including the motor coach, it's $519 per person for double occupancy. If anyone wanted to know the price of that one. So this is also filling up quickly, although we do have some room, not a whole lot of room. If you're interested in this, just let Nisha know. It's a beautiful, has anyone ever stayed at the White Mountain
Yes.
Hotel?
We did
Gorgeous.
this trip.
Yeah.
You did, it is, it's a
trip.
great,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
trip. It
Where
really
is
is.
the pickup and where do you drop us off? Can we get picked up in Groveland?
Yes, well, normally, we ask if there are 10 people, we will pick you up in Groveland. Sometimes, between me, you, and the walls and this camera, this is going on TV, we have picked up for less because we wanna try and accommodate everybody. Or we would ask you to go to your next door neighbor, and pick up there, or a central location. So instead of leaving your car at the Groveland Senior Center, you may leave your car at some other designated location that's a central location for a center that might only have 2 people going, and maybe you only have a couple of people going here, and we'll have you meet in a central location. Normally, do you have another question?
Well, no, we've experienced this before, and we sign up, but we're not told where the pickup is until just before the trip begins. And that's something that we're concerned with.
Right, and I'm gonna explain that to you. So, we are unique where we only, require, well, we ask for 10 people at a location to be picked up. We take a full motor coach that holds 56 passengers. So I'm sure, as you can be aware, that we can't take a whole trip out with 4 people on a 56 passenger bus. So my job is, and the reason I'm here today, I have gone to other centers this morning, and I will be at other centers this afternoon. So say this trip, for instance, they have some people from Rye going, Groveland, Haverhill, and there is one other town going on this trip. So if by chance nobody signs up and maybe only 2 people, we would have to cancel the trip because we can't take a whole bus up to White Mountain Hotel. And the reason why we release the pickup times 2 weeks prior to the trip, and we can't release it now, because we don't know if Rye is gonna actually have people that sign up on the trip, if Haverhill is going to have people. So once we get everyone who signed up for the trip, that's when we make the schedule for the bus pickup and the time and the location. So that's the behind the scenes on how that works and why it is what it is. So we try and make it so that everybody can go, because I hate nothing more than canceling trips. We hate canceling trips. And so that's why and actually, I'm gonna have a conversation with Nisha after this is all over, about working closely with the other communities here on so you're promoting the same trips so that all these trips will go, so that we don't have 3 or 4 people sign up for a trip, and then nobody else in the other community may not be interested in that trip for one reason or another. But I wouldn't be able to tell you today where the pickup location is, because I don't even know if someone from Groveland is gonna sign up. But right now, I believe it is. This is one of the, Nisha, can you help me out here?
Sure.
Do you have the bus letter for this trip coming up? Do you remember?
Don't have it yet, no, they haven't
You
sent
don't.
it yet.
Okay, oh, this is December.
Yeah, not yet.
Simon Pierce. So Simon Pierce is coming up. I'm not talking about Simon Pierce because that is next week, October 3rd, I
Right, they
believe.
actually haven't sent it to me yet.
They have not sent you the Simon Pierce?
Correct.
Before I leave, that is done, I believe, and I can, if you didn't get it, I'm not sure why, but anyway, I can give you a copy of that.
It's usually about a week before to 5 days before that they've been sending it to me,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I know they went out, so if you
Okay.
didn't get it, I
Yeah,
have
could
it
be in
for
today's
you.
mail.
What's that?
Could be in today's mail.
Okay. All right, all right. So, do you have any other questions?
Are you gonna tell the prices of any of this?
So, Nisha has on the, I put some on the table, these are the flyers that come here. So it's $92 a person for the Rod Stewart Show. I just mentioned the price on the White Mountain Hotel, didn't I? Or did I? Yes, $519 per person, double occupancy. The Buddy Holly is $92 a person. And that includes transportation, lunch, show, tax gratuity for the Buddy Holly and the Rod Stewart. The $519 for double for this one includes everything that I had mentioned, all the Christmas shows, the 3 Christmas shows, the 5 meals, the 2 nights, the round trip transportation, a guided sightseeing tour of the Mount Washington Valley, round trip baggage handling, all room and meal taxes and gratuities, and shopping at the outlets in Tilton. So the next one I'm going to talk about. This one is our Sicilian tenors playing at the Damersport Yacht Club. This screen says December 4th and 5th. This center here is signed up for the 5th because we have this show on 2 days. These are the real tenors. They sold out Carnegie Hall. They're selling out Best of Times. This show, I have been getting calls for this show since May and June. People buying tickets for this show. It's a very, very popular show. And when I say that, I'm not saying it as a salesy pitch. This is the honest to God's truth. This show is, there's certain shows that people call very early, and it is, everything is on a first come, first served basis. So sometimes, unfortunately, a trip would have to be canceled if nobody has any interest. And sometimes a show is sold out and we can no longer sell any seats. So it could go from one extreme to another. But this show is also $92, and same as the Buddy Holly and the Rod Stewart. It includes your transportation, your luncheon, show, your tax, and your gratuity.
Now, if you drive up yourself, cause it's so close,
If you want to drive, well, you would have to talk to Nisha. She's offering the program with transportation.
Yeah, we're offering it either or, I believe
Yeah,
it's 69 if
It's
you drive
69,
yourself.
well,
yeah, that's the way.
I
we
didn't
do
wanna
it.
Yeah.
quote your price, and the only reason I
Sure.
don't, some towns are extremely lucky enough to be subsidized by the town and able to pass that on to the senior centers. I would say there's probably less than 5% of 350 senior centers that I talk to that do that. So it's very unusual, and they will change the price on the flyer. So that's why I would
Yeah.
rather the group leader announce their own
Sure.
price. But you can drive on your own. She has a drive on your own program and one with transportation. So these are the programs, that Nisha has promoted here. I threw this one in here because we have, some of your neighboring towns that have signed up for our New Year's Eve Day, featuring the Tom Lamothe Orchestra. It's gonna be at Lake Pearl in Rentham. And this is where when the big band era, the swing era was in town, Glenn Miller Band, Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, they all played at Lake Pearl in Rentham. So we are gonna have the champagne toast, the party favors and the hats, all kinds of dancing. We're gonna have a luncheon. It's all held during the day, transportation. So if you have any interest in this particular show, just let Nisha know. This is not, she has not signed up for this one at this center at this time, but there's still time to do so. And this is, I'm not gonna give out prices because I don't know, she hasn't signed up yet, so. Actually, it's a little bit less than our luncheon shows. And then you have your choice of sirloin steak, baked stuffed chicken breast, or baked scrooge. And a special New Year's Eve Day dessert buffet. So it's that one. Normally your luncheon shows come with a dessert, this has a dessert buffet. So this is one of the programs I wanted to talk about. Our other luncheon shows coming up for 2019, we have the Celtic Angels of Ireland coming in March for our St. Patrick's Day show. We have the ABBA tribute, and that is in Damersport Yacht Club. I'm sorry, the Celtic Angels of Ireland are in Mr. Mallow and Swansea. We also have the three redneck tenors. This picture here, that's our June luncheon show, and they're also at the Damersport Yacht Club. They were one of the top finalists on America's Got Talent, and it's like NASCAR meets opera. So they have awesome voices, and they're comedians as well. And I believe they've also played in Vegas after they were one of the top performers on America's Got Talent. We have Michael Miner in July for our July luncheon show. He'll be playing up in York, Maine, and he's a impressionist, ventriloquist. Then I think a lot of people have heard of these. These are the Edwards twins, the two brothers that do all of these performers. They're impersonators, and they're fabulous. If you haven't seen them, then I would get out to see them soon. But this is another show. Any one of these luncheon shows, if you're interested in, Nisha promoting it, just let her know. Because she never knows it. She has a hard time trying to decide who likes what for the whole entire center. So this is a picture of the couple that do the tribute show for our Neil Diamond tribute show, which is our August show. I'm just gonna go through these really quickly, because these aren't shows that are signed up in this center. The Atlantic City Boys are coming to the Damersport Yacht Club. If you like the Jersey Boys, you would like the Atlantic City Boys, and that's our September show, our September tribute show. Our October tribute show is Elton John and Billy Joel tribute. And they're playing at Lake Pearl in Rentham. November is Ricky Nelson Remembered, and actually this is his two sons, Matthew and Gunnar Nelson, that perform all his music in November. And he is playing in Swansea, Mass. I have a lot of trips that I'm gonna talk about with Nisha. If you see anything in the little booklet that interests you, that's it for the PowerPoint presentation. But if you see anything that interests you, just let her know so that she gets an idea on what type of trips people from this center, this community like to go on. Does anyone have any questions for any of these trips that I talked about? None?
So it seems like an average trip is around 90 to 95.
With transportation, the luncheon shows are around $92. Without transportation, it's $69. And that's your lunch and the performers, and your meal, your tax and gratuity for the wait staff. Thank you.
How long does it last?
So you arrive at the venue approximately 11:30. Around noontime, you would have your lunch. After you eat lunch, you see the performer, and typically it's around 3:30, anywhere between 3 and 4 o'clock. I would say 3:30, you are out of the venue, getting back on the bus. And all the staff is there, helping everyone back to their bus. Any other questions?
That one up the White Mountains, is she running it just that 1 week?
From here, yes, December 3rd to 5th. I don't know, I could look it up after, if you come see me afterwards,
Yeah.
on what other towns are going the 9th and the 10th, but I don't think it's this area. So this area is going the 3rd to the 5th.
Yeah, see, the 5th, I can't make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, it's a great trip.
Yeah, it is, I
is
went
really
on
good
it
for
before.
Do you need a whole busload to make it worth doing this?
We do not need a complete full bus load, but we need more than one center. Or if one center has 40 people, then yes, we would make it run with just them alone. If that was, we've done it with even 35.
They don't have any mini buses like.
We do not. We just have motor coaches. They're air conditioned, they have
Yeah.
bathrooms in there, they
Yeah.
have DVD players in there. Yeah, just the motor coaches.
Are you gonna talk anything about, longer trips? You know, in 2019, or do we just see you?
What trip would you like me to talk about? Cause Nisha isn't promoting any longer trips right now for 2019. That's not saying, which
No, you
type?
could pick it up anywhere, but, like, maybe the national parks out west,
Okay.
or the one in Nova Scotia for the Tattoo Fest,
Okay.
those two.
Actually, I was gonna talk about the Virginia tattoo, because Boxford has already started promoting that one.
Okay.
They were interested in that trip. So, which makes it even better if people from here were interested. Then it's more likely to go if your surrounding towns have people that are going as well. So the Virginia tattoo, and I'll talk to you about the Nova Scotia one as well in a moment, but, the Virginia tattoo, has anyone ever heard of a tattoo?
Hmm.
Okay. I hadn't either before I went on the tattoo, and I have no idea why they call it such a silly name, because there
I didn't
literally
either.
were people asking me, do you go and get tattoos?
Right.
You do not go and get tattoos. It's put on, I'm gonna stand up a little bit, it's put on by the military, and they have a theme every year, so it's military bands, and it's a whole show, it's a ticketed event. And they have a theme every year. This past year's theme was Above and Beyond. They honored the last survivor of the Purple Heart. So the show ended up having you in tears, and they had you laughing. It was just a fabulous, I can't even say enough about this show. The bands were no less than 350 members. They were not off-key, not one note. There were horses that walked out onto the center, it was just beautiful. So, we go to Colonial Williamsburg prior to that. When we're going on a long bus ride, it's never a straight shot from where you're picked up to the location. We have touring stops along the way. So on this particular trip, I'm gonna turn on the lights. Does anyone
Yeah.
mind if I? Okay. We go to Toby's Dinner Theater, we go to the Naval Academy, the Marine Corps Museum, Colonial Williamsburg. There we go, okay. And we end up at Ocean City, Maryland, at a hotel on the beach. So getting back to the tattoo, it's called the Tattoo and the Hullabaloo. There's a, I don't wanna say a stadium, but it's a place where they hold shows at night. And the parking lot is what they call the Hullabaloo, set up with all vendors and bands that don't make it into the performance on the ticketed event at night. So you walk around the Hullabaloo during the day, you have a ticket in, and we go in and see the show at night. So that's the whole military tattoo trip. You don't actually get tattoos. The military came up with that name. I do not know why, I can't tell you why, but it's a fabulous, fabulous trip. I can't say enough about this trip.
And how much is that trip?
So this one here is $9.99 a person. That is 5 days, 4 nights. 4 nights lodging, 1 night is in Ocean City, Maryland, 2 nights in Williamsburg, and 1 night oceanfront, I'm sorry, scratch that. 1 night in Maryland, 2 nights in Williamsburg, Virginia, and 1 night in Ocean City, Maryland. All your luggage handling, 8 meals, 4 breakfasts, 1 lunch in historic Williamsburg Tavern, and 3 dinners. A guided tour of Annapolis and the U.S. Naval Academy, a ticket to the show at Toby's Dinner Theater, so you get dinner in the show there. A tour of the Douglas MacArthur Memorial and Museum. Admission to the Virginia International Military Tattoo Festival, it's a 2-hour show. A tour of Colonial Williamsburg, a tour of Norfolk, Virginia Naval Base. Oh, and I almost forgot about Assateague Island. We go there in the end when you go to Ocean City, Maryland. Has anyone ever heard of Assateague Island? There are 300 wild horses that were left on this island. And they just roam the beach, they cross the roads, and we take a tour and you see the wild horses, and it's just very interesting. The tour guides are very knowledgeable, and they know everything about these horses and why they came here and why they were left there. It's like a wives' tale that they were brought over on a ship and then just left because they couldn't get them somewhere else. So they do this thing every year. This is not at this time that we're there, but they do this thing every year where they weed out because they become too many horses there, and they do the crossing of the horses over the water, and they take some away. And anyway, that's Assateague Island. So that's where we end our trip in Ocean City, Maryland. We take a tour on Assateague Island. Any other questions?
And that
on
one's
this?
in April.
This is in April, yes it is. It's April 25th to the 29th, 2019. It's a Thursday to a Monday. And this one here, Boxford, is going.
Good, excellent.
So Nisha might sign up for this one as well if she promotes it, if she knows there's enough interest, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's a great trip.
Do you have any extras of those, of
I
that
have-
flyer?
I have this one, but Nisha will get all her own
Yeah,
flyers.
everything with our center on it.
Yeah,
that I'll
with
get.
her,
Okay.
it'll say, just like these here, all customized. if she chooses to promote this, which I have a feeling she's going to,
Yeah.
we will send her some flyers and she'll put them out here at the center. Are there any other trips in that booklet that anyone had a question on?
Do you have the one in, for Pennsylvania, going to, the Melanite Theater?
The Sight and Sound?
Yeah, Sight and Sound, yeah.
We do. Actually, it's, nobody has, this catalog literally just came out, so I haven't signed anyone up for it yet. I just had someone ask me about it yesterday, and that's how I knew. It's the Miracle of Christmas show. Christmas time, is that the one you're looking
Yeah.
for? And we also have one going to see Jesus, but that's not at Christmas time.
Oh, Jesus is in like.
Sight and Sound Theater. They're both in the Sight and
It's in
Sound.
October, isn't it?
I believe so. I can, if you wanna
Is that
come
one
see
too
me
late to
afterwards.
sign up for the one
If
that
you wanna come see me afterwards,
Oh, okay.
yeah, then I'll look it up in my system. and-
System, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
One last thing I wanted to talk about, and I was gonna talk to Nisha about, cause we're gonna sit down afterwards and talk about the trips that, Boxford has, so that our neighboring, we can do the same for our neighboring towns. But she's doing the Southern Caribbean cruise, and I just wanna explain, it's a large trip. Anything that involves an airline or a cruise line, we will pick up in your hometown for one person. You don't need to try and, get people to be signing up for a trip. One person, because it's a livery service, it's transfer service, to go to the cruise port or to the airline. That's included in the price. Any other questions?
So you do cruises and?
We do cruises, we do river cruises, ocean cruises, we do, we have a trip going out to Nashville, with a tour around Nashville, and we're gonna see the Patriots play the Titans. So we have these luncheon shows, we have, day touring trips to go to fall foliage tours, next week. Groveland's going to the Simon Pierce in Keachie Gorge, Vermont. We're going to the Simon Pierce glass blowing factory, and also the King Arthur flower factory.
And you don't have to be a Groveland resident,
That's a question, no, you do not.
okay? 'Cause I wanna-
That's up to each individual center, and it would be beneficial if they opened it up to everybody for each center, but that's their choice. So Nisha's shaking her head, no, you do not, so anybody, it's open to all. Anyone who wants to sign up here in Groveland is more than welcome to.
Yeah, 'cause I wanna show this in Georgetown.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure she welcomes Georgetown residents
No problem.
to come here.
Do you have a flyer on that Mount Rushmore, South Dakota and Montana one?
That's a nice trip.
Anything-
I've done it years ago.
After we're done this presentation, you can come and see me on that one.
That's a good trip. That's
Yeah.
a very, very good trip. We went with them years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Want in?
It's fabulous. Yellowstone is just breathtaking, breathtaking.
We had to Yellowstone.
Any other questions? No? Okay,
She said that one.
that's a wrap. Yep.